Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech, where we blend casual conversations with insightful discussions on the latest in technology and gadgets. It feels like every time I refresh my feed, there's some new AI development, and it's just like, whoa.
Yeah. Is anyone else feeling a little overwhelmed by all the AI news lately?
Oh, absolutely. It's coming at us from every angle.
Yeah.
And it's not slowing down.
Yeah.
Especially with OpenAI doing their 12 days of shipments thing.
Oh, yeah.
A new product or demo every day. It's exciting,
Yeah.
but definitely a lot to keep up with.
That's why we're doing this deep dive today.
Yeah,
To help you sift through all the headlines and figure out what's really worth paying attention to
totally.
in the AI world.
Exactly. Consider this your AI cheat sheet.
Okay.
Cutting through the hype to get to the heart of what these developments might actually mean for you.
I love it.
Hmm.
Okay, let's kick things off with something that caught my eye. The 2024 Spotify Wrapped results. Women are absolutely dominating the music charts.
For sure.
Taylor Swift alone racked up over 26.6 billion streams globally. Yeah, it's pretty remarkable how much of the top 10 is dominated by female artists. But this actually ties into a bigger trend we're seeing.
Right.
The rise of AI-generated music. There are predictions that AI-generated tunes could be pulling in 20% of streaming revenue by 2028.
Whoa, 20%. That's a huge chunk of the market.
Yeah.
Is AI about to stage a musical coup?
It's definitely something to watch. Imagine a world where algorithms are crafting chart-topping hits, maybe even mimicking the styles of popular artists. What does that mean for the future of human creativity in music?
It's a big question, and it makes you wonder if we'll even be able to tell the difference between human-made and AI-generated music in the near future. But let's switch gears for a minute and talk about another tech giant making moves. Amazon. They just rolled out this new Buy with AWS button.
Yeah, think of it like a one-click purchase for software, but within the AWS ecosystem.
Got it.
It lets customers buy third-party software directly through their AWS accounts, which is super convenient for them.
So it's kind of like Amazon's version of an app store, but for businesses using AWS.
Exactly. But it also raises questions about competition. Is this another way for Amazon to lock customers into their cloud services and potentially squeeze out smaller competitors? It's definitely a strategic move on their part.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
They're making it really tempting to just stay within their ecosystem. Okay, let's pivot to something that could have a huge impact on, well, pretty much everyone, weather forecasting.
Ah, yes. Google's DeepMind has been making headlines with their new system, GenCast.
GenCast is apparently blowing traditional forecasting methods out of the water. We're talking up to 15-day forecasts with incredible accuracy and speed. It even uses something called the diffusion model,
Right.
which sounds pretty complex.
It is complex but fascinating. A diffusion model essentially works by taking a noisy, blurry picture, in this case weather data, and progressively refining it to create a clearer image of the future weather. It's like starting with a puzzle where all the pieces are scattered and then gradually putting it together to reveal a clear picture.
Okay, that actually makes sense. So it's not just about predicting the weather faster. It's about predicting it more accurately further out than we've ever been able to before.
Exactly. And what's even more impressive is that GenCast doesn't need massive amounts of computing power. This means even smaller research teams or institutions could potentially use it, which could really democratize access to advanced weather forecasting tools.
That's a game changer, especially for regions that are particularly vulnerable to extreme weather events. But enough about looking up at the sky. Let's shift our focus to the ground, or rather, how we navigate it. Remember GPS. Well, I might be facing some competition soon.
You're talking about the new system being developed by Advanced Navigation and MBDA, right?
Yeah.
The one that reads the Earth's fingerprint.
You got it. Instead of relying on satellites, they're using a camera to scan the terrain and compare it to a massive database of geographical features. It's like the Earth has its own unique fingerprint, and this system can use it to figure out exactly where you are.
It's incredibly clever and likely driven by concerns about GPS vulnerabilities. After all, GPS signals can be jammed or spoofed, which could cause major problems in critical situations.
That's a good point. And what's surprising is that they're not even using AI for this system. They're keeping it relatively simple, which maybe makes it more robust and reliable.
There's something to be said for elegant simplicity, especially when you're talking about navigation systems that could be used in defense or emergency response scenarios. But let's address something we know a lot of you are curious about: training your own AI models.
Yeah, we've been getting a ton of questions from you folks about that. Is it something you actually need a PhD in computer science to do?
You definitely don't need a PhD. It might seem intimidating, but there are actually tons of user-friendly tools and resources available that make it surprisingly accessible.
I've seen things like Out How to Train Your Own AI popping up online. Is that a good place to start?
Absolutely. It walks you through the basics and points you towards some great resources. And there are even platforms like Vertex AI, Amazon SageMaker, and Azure Machine Learning that give you a more hands-on experience with building and training AI models. It's really amazing how much easier it's becoming to dip your toes into the world of AI.
That's so cool. It makes me think about the future of gaming, especially with things like Google's Genie 2 coming out.
Genie 2 is wild. It can build a playable 3D world from a single image, no coding required.
It's like stepping into a video game version of your own imagination. And the fact that Genie 2 learns by watching videos is just mind-blowing to me.
It's learning how the world works visually, just like we do. It then applies that knowledge to create these immersive environments. Imagine building a world based on your favorite movie or book.
That would be insane.
Mm.
But all of this AI development requires serious computing power, and that means a lot of energy consumption, right?
That's a crucial point. And it brings us to Meta's recent announcement about collaborating with nuclear energy developers.
Nuclear energy. It's unexpected.
Yeah.
What's the thinking there?
Well, nuclear energy is a low-carbon source of power, so it could be a play for sustainability. But it also might signal that Meta is getting ahead of potential energy shortages as the demand for AI computing power explodes.
It's a bold move, and it really highlights how AI's impact extends far beyond the tech world itself. We're talking about energy infrastructure, even potentially geopolitics.
Exactly. And that brings us to another topic that's been generating a lot of buzz. OpenAI's secret filters on ChatGPT.
Wait, secret filters, what are those?
Apparently, ChatGPT has these hard-coded filters that prevent it from talking about certain people.
Why would they do that? Sounds a little shady.
It's a precautionary measure. OpenAI has faced some defamation lawsuits in the past, so they're trying to prevent the AI from generating any statements that could be seen as false or harmful.
So it's about protecting themselves legally.
That seems to be the main motivation. But it does raise questions about censorship and control. Who decides which names are off limits? And does this restriction limit ChatGPT's ability to have open and honest conversations, especially about potentially controversial figures?
Yeah, those are important questions. It seems like the more powerful AI becomes, the more complex the ethical considerations become.
Absolutely. And those ethical dilemmas are something we'll definitely be exploring more deeply in future episodes.
Speaking of exploring, I wanted to circle back to something we touched on earlier. The ability for anyone to train their own AI models. It seems like something that could be really empowering for people.
I agree. Imagine being able to tailor an AI to your specific needs or creative goals. It could revolutionize the way we work, learn, and express ourselves.
Yeah. Like, what if you could train an AI to help you write music, analyze data for your small business, or even design a video game?
Those are just a few examples. The possibilities are truly mind-boggling. And as the tools and resources become more user-friendly, we're likely to see an explosion of creativity and innovation in the personalized AI space.
It's like putting the power of AI directly into the hands of individuals. And that's a really exciting prospect. But, before we get too carried away dreaming about the future, I do want to acknowledge that all of this AI advancement can feel a little overwhelming at times.
It's true. We're in the midst of a technological revolution, and it's happening at warp speed. It's natural to feel both excited and a bit apprehensive about what it all means.
Totally. And that's why we're doing this deep dive to help you make sense of it all.
We're here to break down the complex concepts, explore the potential benefits and challenges, and hopefully spark some interesting conversations along the way.
And maybe even inspire you to dive in and experiment with AI yourself. After all, who knows what amazing things you might create?
That's the spirit. Remember, you don't need to be a tech wizard to get involved. There are so many resources out there to help you get started, like the one we mentioned earlier, How to Train Your Own AI.
And if you're feeling really ambitious, maybe you could even try building your own 3D world with Google's Genie 2.
Why not? It could be the next big hit video game.
Now you're talking.
Yeah.
Okay, before we run out of time, let's quickly touch on something we mentioned at the beginning, OpenAI's ShipMiz event.
Oh yeah, almost forgot. They're still unveiling new AI products and demos every day.
Yeah, it's like they're unleashing a whole new wave of AI tech on the world. Who knows what kind of surprises they have in store for us?
It's definitely keeping us on our toes. And it just goes to show how quickly the AI landscape is evolving. What seems cutting edge today might be old news tomorrow.
That's the truth. But hey, that's what makes it so exciting, right? It's like we're living in the future we used to read about in science fiction novels.
Absolutely. And the best part is we're just scratching the surface of what's possible with AI. As the technology continues to advance and become more accessible, who knows what incredible breakthroughs we'll see in the years to come.
It's mind-boggling to think about. But hey, that's a deep dive for another day. For now, I think it's time for us to wrap things up.
Agreed. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the rise of AI-generated music to the potential of personalized AI, and even the unexpected role of nuclear energy empowering the AI revolution.
It's been a wild ride through the world of AI, and we hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have.
If there's one thing we want you to take away from this deep dive, it's this. Don't be intimidated by AI. It's a powerful tool that has the potential to change the world for the better, and it's becoming more accessible every day.
So embrace your curiosity, explore the possibilities, and who knows, maybe you'll be the one creating the next groundbreaking AI innovation.
We can't wait to see what you come up with.
Thanks for tuning in to Byte-Sized Tech. If you enjoyed the episode, like, comment, share, and subscribe for more fun tech discussions. It's like an advent calendar for AI nerds.
Totally. And it makes you wonder what they're going to come up with next.
Yeah, like where does it even go from here? What's even left to launch?
Right. It's hard to even imagine what AI will be capable of in a few years if this is what they're already cooking up.
Okay, well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive.
Yeah, we've covered a lot.
We have, from killer albums to killer apps to even killer robots.
Hey, now let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Fair enough. But seriously, we've explored some pretty mind-blowing AI developments today.
Absolutely. And hopefully we've given you a better understanding of what's out there and what it all means.
Exactly. So the next time you see an AI headline, you'll be able to cut through the hype and get to the heart of the matter.
That's the goal. And hey, maybe you'll even be inspired to start tinkering with AI yourself.
Yeah, go train your own AI model.
Why not? The possibilities are endless.
Thanks for tuning in to Byte-Sized Tech. If you enjoyed the episode, like, comment, share, and subscribe for more fun tech discussions.